Let us begin. Today is the 10th day of the first month, the 9th year of Channel Group, February 21, 2021. To begin our day, let's offer our respect and gratitude to our Heavenly Parent and true parents of heaven, earth, and all humankind. 천지인 참부모님께 경배. 바로 Let's recite 가정맹세.
가정맹세 1. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 황족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정 문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 천일국 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상천국과 천상천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
For the opening prayer, may I call our brother Victor Rabaño, the director of the National Blessed Children Council.
Let's join me in prayer. Good morning, our beloved Heavenly Parents and our victorious true parents of heaven and earth and humankind. Heavenly Parents, we would like to express our deepest gratitude that we could be able to wake up this morning and attend you. And in order for us to advance little by little the ideal kingdom that you've wanted since the beginning of the creation of our first human ancestors, may we receive motivation, inspiration, and determination through the reading and the guidance later on this morning. And we would like to ask also for your forgiveness, Heavenly Parents, that sometimes we are lacking, we are unworthy, and yet you have continuously trusted and forgiven each and every one of us. Even our true parents have shown this model of always living for the sake of others and forgiving these people who have hurt them. And if it wasn't for these people who have judged them also, they would not have developed and grown their heart in loving humanity, Heavenly Parents. So Heavenly Parents, we would like to also pray that we could have this heart of forgiving those people who have wronged us, so that we could always bring these people closer to you, Heavenly Parents. Heavenly Parents, through the words that we will be receiving today and also in the coming days through this online hundoke with our brothers and sisters, may these words become our actions. May these actions become our habits. May these habits become our character. And may this character become our ultimate destiny, Heavenly Parents. I pray for the good health and continuous protection of our beloved True Mother, who is continuously working very hard and showing us the model in order for us to enter the kingdom of heaven, the original ideal that you've always wanted. And may we completely unite with our beloved True Mother, most especially during this time that she is still here in the physical world. I would like to express once again my deepest gratitude on behalf of all brothers and sisters and my leaders here. In my name, Victor Abano and Mano Kodama, Central Blessed Family, Aju.
True. Let us offer our individual prayer. Aju. Let us offer our greetings to our Heavenly Parent and True Parents. Good morning, Heavenly Parent and True Parents. To our leaders, to our national leader, good morning, sir. Good morning to all our elders, brothers, and sisters. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Yes. To all our brothers and sisters in the center, you may now take your seat.
Morning.
Good morning to everyone. To begin our Hundok reading, let us welcome our brother Benjamin Rabanyo.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Our reading for today is chapter 2. I came into this world as the only begotten daughter. Worlds divide at a 38th parallel. You came here to see your mother. The guard asked this question as a formality. He knew why I was there, because I came every day. Yes, sir, I would respond in my soft voice. Wait here, he would say, in a fatherly tone. I'll call her for you. Would you like a candy? In 1948, When the oppression of religions by North Korea's Communist Party was at its height, my mother and grandmother were imprisoned for nearly 2 weeks for being members of the Inside the Womb Church. I was 5 years old at the time, and I would go to the prison to see my mother. The guards were nice to me because I was polite and well behaved. Even those ruthless communists gave me fruit or candy when they saw me. I cannot explain why the authorities released both of them, as the party was increasing its suppression of religious activities. Perhaps it was out of their concern for me. The good result was that the imprisonment convinced my grandmother that to live a peaceful life, let alone a life of faith, they had to go to South Korea. Since Ho Ho Bin was still in prison, my mother was of two minds about it, but grandmother persuaded her to go. If we stay here, she reasoned, we will die before we meet the Lord. Once we are in South Korea and have met up with Sunjung, the right way will appear. The mention of her younger brother, my uncle Hong Sunjung, who was preparing to be a medical practitioner in the South, swayed my mother. She mounted a last protest as she gave in. How can we go there with no destination? We don't even have a place to stay. Grandmother took a deep breath and said firmly, we still must go. God will protect us. My grandfather did not join us. Like many, he had received the revelation that Pyongyang was the palace of Eden, and he was determined to remain there to guard it. Nonetheless, he encouraged his wife and daughter to leave for the South. Because her purpose in life was to meet the Lord at the second advent in Pyongyang, my mother had to pray for several days and nights before finally agreeing to go to South Korea, and she went on the condition that it would be temporary. As good luck would have it, we received the news that Uncle Sunjung had completed his studies in Japan and in Seoul and had joined the South Korean army. My uncle was an intellectual and a dapper young man. Moreover, he was very strong-minded. My grandmother missed her only son and wished very much to see him. In addition, she wanted to protect me, her granddaughter, at all costs. She wanted to prevent my being taken by the cruel communists and made to suffer at their hands. She was sincere when she told me repeatedly over the years, you are God's true daughter. Her mission in life was to protect me from the misfortunes of the world. Along with most people in the North, my family believed that North Korea's Communist Party would not last long. We expected that after a short stay in South Korea, we would see the downfall of the communists and be able to return home. As history shows, this dream was not to be realized. After we crossed the 38th parallel, we never considered returning to the North. Looking back, I believe that God worked through my grandmother's affectionate heart for her son and granddaughter. When all is said and done, a mother's parental heart reflects God's motherly heart. It is dark now, my mother whispered. Let's go. It was the autumn of 1948, and we left our home in the middle of the night. My mother carrying me on her back and my grandmother carrying a couple of bundles. It is quite a distance from Anju to the 38th parallel, 200 kilometers as a crow flies. We had to walk for days and days to cover that distance, and we took every step on that journey with anxiety, fearing for our lives. At night, we slept in empty houses, and when the morning dew fell, we would start again. Our shoes were flimsy and the roads were rough, and so our feet ached from the very start. What was hardest to endure was the hunger. We would knock on the doors of shabby cottages and give them something from our bundles in exchange for food, which was usually a cup of boiled barley and rice. Undergoing such hardships, we walked and walked endlessly southward. The communists had plowed the fields and broken up the shoulders of roads to make such a journey even more difficult. Our feet sank into mud as we walked through the fields, and we shivered all over with cold. Still, we continued on, looking only at the starlight. North Korean People's Army soldiers were blocking the 38th parallel, and they easily captured my mother, grandmother, and me. They locked us up in a shed, together with other frightened people who had the same intention as we did. The soldiers were rough with the men, but they did not treat women and children harshly. One day, one of the adults asked me to take food to the soldiers standing watch. Though my heart trembled inside, I forced a smile and handed the food to the soldiers. After I had done so several times, the soldiers' hearts softened, and one night they set my family free. They instructed us to return to our hometown, and we walked out of their sight in that direction. And then, as we stood at a crossroads between life and death, night fell, and we waited. And heaven sent a young man to guide us on the path of life. Under the cover of darkness, we followed him across the 38th parallel. As we crossed, I was so happy that I said to Mother, we don't have to sing songs praising Kim Il-sung anymore, do we? I will sing a song for the southern part of Korea. This too was God's intervention, for on the South Korean side, soldiers also were keeping a strict watch. I sang a few lines of the song with a joyous heart. At that moment, we heard a rustling in the bushes in front of us. We were surprised and stood frozen in place, fearful that we would be captured by North Korean soldiers once again. Soldiers emerged from the bushes, South Koreans. At the sight of them, we almost wilted in relief. Those South Korean soldiers told us that they had heard us as we approached and had been about to fire upon us. When they heard the voice of a child singing, they had lowered their weapons. They welcomed us and comforted us. One soldier said, "It must have been difficult for you to make it all the way here with this beautiful young child. This isn't much, but please take it." We were so grateful to this soldier, whom God moved to give us money, enough to get us to Seoul. Looking back, if I had not sung at that moment, those young soldiers probably would have mistaken us for North Korean soldiers and shot us dead. In this way, once again, God protected us. We arrived safely in South Korea after undergoing hardships such as these. Yet, in making that journey, we parted from my grandfather, whom we never saw again. South Korea was a strange place to us. Having never been to Seoul, we had no idea how we could survive, and we were getting lost constantly. We also had lost the moorings of our faith. The hope to meet the returning Lord was indeed floating in the clouds. We had no money and no skills by which to make a living. We camped in a shabby, empty house and barely made it through each day. All we could do was talk to people. Our most urgent task was to find my maternal uncle Sunjung. He was the only person we could depend on in South Korea, and we were hoping he was somewhere in Seoul. My mother pleaded in prayer, "What should I do to find my younger brother?" She prayed most earnestly every day to find her brother on whom she could rely. We devoted ourselves to this search by visiting clinics and pharmacies. Then we received an unexpected blessing from God. We met a man on the street who turned out to be a friend of my uncle's. This was indeed God's providential help. His friend told us that Uncle Sunjung was serving at the army headquarters in Seoul's Yongsan district. After returning from Japan, he had graduated from the College of Pharmacy in Seoul and then received training as a pharmaceutical officer in the Korean Military Academy. He was currently serving as a first lieutenant. This kind man took us to Yongsan, and what a reunion it was. Sunjung was delighted to see his mother, sister, and niece. He had no idea of the conditions in the north and was so distressed to hear of what we had gone through to get to Seoul. He immediately rented a small room for us in Hyochang-dong. Our life in the south soon stabilized. I entered Hyochang Primary School, and in the free land of South Korea, began going to school for the first time. I loved going to school with my bag of books every day. The older residents of the neighborhood would pat me on the head, and the neighborhood children also liked me very much. Looking back, I find it interesting that our rented room was close to Chongpadong, the neighborhood in which, 7 years later, we would end our search for the Lord at the Second Advent. Until that day arrived, however, we endured many twists and turns on our odyssey. While at Hyochang-dong, we heard the news that Jong Sok-chon, the eldest son of the founder of the Holy Lord Church, had settled in South Korea. We took it as a miracle and prayed that God would guide us to meet him. All in all, we praised God that my uncle was serving as an army officer and that Jong Sok-chon's family from the Holy Lord Church had come to the south. Without doubt, our heavenly parent prepared the path to protect the one called to serve humankind as the only begotten daughter, the one to whom he would entrust the providence. Now that our physical pilgrimage had reached an oasis, it was time to renew our spiritual pilgrimage. A blue flash of death. It was early on a hot summer morning. Red balsam flowers blossomed on one side of our courtyard, and thick old willow and sycamore trees stood along the street. I was 7 years old, but I remember the moment clearly as a frantic neighbor burst into our living room with the words, "War has broken out. The North Korean army has crossed the 38th parallel." Apprehensive residents gathered in the alley in groups of 2 and 3. I had been getting used to settled life in the south, but when the North Korean People's Army launched their invasion, our short respite was over. Everyone was frightened. Government reports mingled with rumors, and no one knew for sure what was going on. What happened was that the South Korean interim government packed up and moved to the city of Daejeon, 90 miles to the south of Seoul. The government ordered the South Korean army to blow up the Han River Bridge, the only bridge across the Han River on the south side of Seoul. They expected North Korean troops to arrive in so soon, and they had no means to protect the city. Their strategy was to prevent the communist army from crossing the river. They could do little or nothing to help the city's residents, who were crying out for Seoul's defense. 2 days later, my mother woke up at dawn and began packing our clothes in a bundle. Awakened by the rustling noise, I kept my eyes shut and listened to her conversation with my grandmother. We have to seek refuge, my mother said. After the communists get here, they'll kill us. I know they are bad, my grandmother responded. But do you think they would treat women harshly? If they found out if they find out we have escaped from the north, my mother reasoned, they probably will kill us on the spot. On the evening of June 27, 1950, 2 days after the start of the Korean War, Seoul residents streamed out of the city's ancient neighborhoods under a gentle summer rain. The more they realized that they were not the only ones seeking to escape and that they all had to cross the same bridge, the more serious and desperate they became. This was war. My grandmother, mother, and I joined the exodus with our bundle, following the throng moving toward the Han River Bridge. When its dim shape appeared in the dark, something told me to stop, and I grabbed my grandmother's skirt. She stopped in her tracks, and my mother turned and asked her, "Mother, what's wrong?" Grandmother looked up at the sky and then glanced down at me. Then she turned her head again in the direction of our house. "Sun Jung may come," she said with a steady tone, speaking of her son, my uncle. It seemed senseless to turn around and when everyone else was fleeing the city, but she was firm. "Let's go back in case he does." My mother understood. The three of us made our way back home, fighting the crowds. When we got home, I spread out my blanket and lay down to sleep. But it was not long before I was awakened by the noise of a three-quarter-ton truck. Its headlights illuminated our room, and as the door suddenly burst open, there was my uncle in his military uniform. My grandmother and mother gasped sighs of relief and hope. I thought to myself, "We can leave now," and felt at ease. "Hurry," he barked. "We have to move now." Uncle Sunjung, based in the army headquarters as a military medic, was aware of the progress of the war. Uh,
Ju. If we receive it, let us offer our gratitude to our Heavenly Parents for that wonderful word this morning, and to our brother Venji Rabanyo for reading. Thank you, Benji. Now, for the 10 points of gratitude, let us welcome our sister Wanju Maglangit, the marketing head of the National Blessed Children Committee.
Good morning to our leaders and blessed families and brothers and sisters. Today I'll be sharing my 10 points, 10 gratitude points. First and foremost, I'm grateful to Heavenly Parent for His unconditional love, protection, and blessings day by day, for never giving up on us and always being there for us. Second, I'm grateful for true parents' guidance and unconditional love to us and all humanity, and for standing as my and our only true parents. I'm also grateful to be living in the same era as our true parents and celebrate their birthday with our true mother and brothers and sisters this week. Third, I'm grateful to our leaders, most especially our national and regional leaders, for their tireless efforts and wholehearted dedication to our nation, our region, and the world. Fourth, I'm grateful to the blessed families, brothers, and sisters who are working hard and sacrificing in the front line. Five, um, I'm grateful to wake up to a new day and receive new inspiration for the food, the water, and home, and for being able to enjoy the simple pleasures in life. Six, um, I'm grateful to start the day with morning devotion and attending Heavenly Parent and True Parents with my family. Seven, I'm grateful to my parents for their unending and unconditional love, investment, and education toward me and my siblings. Eight, I'm grateful to NBCC and the officers, as well as the district representatives, especially to our central figure, Kuya Victor, for their love, investment, and efforts in creating and building a community for all blessed children to connect and relate to each other. I'm grateful and inspired to see blessed children who are taking ownership, who are studying hard, and also to those who are working hard in their respective areas of skills and passion. And lastly, I'm grateful that all blessed children can meet and gather online once again this coming Sunday on February 28th so that we can start the year with newfound determination and resolution together as one community. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Sister Wanju, for sharing your 10 points of gratitude. Let us give a hand to our Sister Wanju Maglani. Thank you so much for that sharing. Now, for more inspiration and guidance, let us welcome our beloved national leader, Reverend Leo Angelo Halo.
Good morning to our Heavenly Parent and true parents, to all our leaders who are joining us today, all our La Central families and brothers and sisters. Good morning po. Annyeonghaseyo. Ohayo gozaimasu.
おはようございます。
Po.
おはようございます。
Happy Sunday to everyone. I hope you can enjoy this day with all your families. I would like to thank our Blessed Children committee, our NBCC headed by our Kuya Victor. I'm really, really grateful for really organizing our Blessed Children in the Philippines. And really, the Philippines, we are one of the nation which really has many second generation. Lalo na po ngayon, our 360,000 couples, ngayon malalaki na po yung mga anak. I think nasa 400 na yata. So I'm really, really grateful with Kuya Victor and all the officers of NBCC. Thank you also for Benji today and Wonju for sharing. Really, you are really the hope of not only of the Philippines, but our true parents, our Heavenly Parent, our second generation. So thank you so much, Kuya Victor. So today I would like to share with you, let's study together these teachings of true parents. Today I would like to share this topic. So today I will be sharing this topic entitled Cultivating the Good. We already know that to become a good person is not easy. Even in the Philippines, meron tayong kasabihan na gusto kong bumait pero hindi ko magawa. And we learn also from even mga saints and sages, we could learn that to really become a good person, it's really not easy. So Father said we need to cultivate goodness in us. So I would like to begin. True Father said our body should obediently follow our mind. We can become good only if our body obediently follows our mind, which directs us towards goodness. All too often, however, our body rebels against the mind's direction, repeating by analogy Cain's murder of Abel. This is how evil grows within us. So for us, for human beings to be good, our body should naturally follow our mind, because our mind, our original mind, is the ones that directs us towards a goodness. But what's happening is the other way around, that the body became the subject, and then the mind is the one following the body. So Father said this is how evil grows within us. So the more we live centering on the body's desire, the more evil grows within us. So we have to invest and really put effort and really let our original mind be the subject, and our body should follow. And then that's the way we can develop goodness in us. So Father said, our original desire is to pursue goodness. People's original desire is to avoid evil and pursue goodness. Our original mind is always running to promote goodness and eliminate evil from our world. However, through personal experience, we are well aware of our evil mind, which strongly opposes or distorts the good mind. The stronger we uphold our good mind, to that degree, we confront our evil mind. So originally, Father said, our desire is to avoid evil and pursue goodness. Even Saint Paul, sabi nga ni Saint Paul, ang desire niya is to do, good, but yung ginagawa niya is iba, not the desire of his original mind. So it's really not easy. So even though tayo rin po, we want to avoid evil and we want to pursue goodness, but it is not easy. Father said, however, through our personal experience, we are well aware of our evil mind, which strongly opposes or distorts the good mind. Always our evil mind, and it's very strong. It's very strong, our evil mind. If we are not aware of this, then we will just naturally do things in accordance of our evil mind. So basically, what we follow is the desire of our evil mind. We do evil things. This because it's very strong in us. Kaya una, we need to be aware. Kailangan we need to understand. And then Father said, the stronger we uphold our good mind, then to that degree, we confront our evil mind. So first, really, we need to understand, we need to know. So people who doesn't know this, where human beings are standing, that we are in the midway position. If we are ignorant about this, if we don't know, naturally people will just do evilness. That's why this world, sinasabi natin, this world is really filled with evil. Because human beings, because of the fall, naturally, more in us is evilness. Naturally, this is what people are doing. So without education, without knowing the principle, right? So people will really do evilness. People study in Harvard, in top universities, and then what do you think they're thinking? They're thinking of making things actually that can destroy this world. Who invented this? This nuclear bomb, all these things. So people, they are intelligent people, but if they are not good, they will going to use all this knowledge that they have to destroy the world. This is the natural, in us because of the fall. So Father is saying here, the stronger we uphold our good mind. So when we started to learn, be aware and study, and then napag-aralan natin, we learn the principle, and then we start to practice goodness and strengthen our original mind. And then in that degree, Father said, we confront also our evil mind. Then slowly we can develop, and then we can practice more goodness in our life. Yeah, this is really very important for us to understand. That's why if we are not being educated, kaya pag hindi natin pag-aralan ang divine principle, our young brothers and sisters, lahat po tayo, if our understanding with the principle is limited, really, our practice in life will be more on the side of Satan because of the fall. This is the control in us. Kaya nga po tayo, we are really not free. When people are saying, I need to be free, I need to do whatever I want, actually that is not being free. You are doing what Satan wanted you to do. That what's going to happen. So it's very important na maintindihan natin where we are standing, what is the status of human beings, of fallen human beings. So only by understanding and knowing this, then that's the time we started to uphold goodness in us. And then we develop our original mind and practice more goodness. And then we confront the evil mind, our evil nature. That's the only way to defeat it and really move forward and become a person of goodness. Father said, lack of stimulation to pursue goodness. Although our good mind prompts us to head toward a certain goal, it is often hard to see it clearly. Then our motivation falters. Feeling distant from the goal, there's nothing to stimulate our good mind to continue on the path. On the other hand, there is never any lack of stimulation for the evil mind. Each step on the road to evil links us to ever more evil. Considering this, people who have a mind to pursue a life of truth and goodness find themselves isolated and beset with sorrows. This is the reality. It's important for us to understand. Sabi ni Father dito, although we have the goal, very clear, we learn the principle, I want to do this. I want to become a good person. But actually, always we are lacking of motivation to continue. Minsan kapag nahirapan na tayo, ang hirap pala, ayaw ko na, I don't want to continue this. I will going to leave this movement. I will just, pursue my own thing. So, this is the reality. Father said, on the other hand, so to pursue goodness, very difficult. But on the other hand, sabi ni Father, there is never any lack of stimulation for the evil mind. Each step on the road to evil links us to ever more evil. This is the reality. Even our evil nature, even though we will not stimulate this, the more, even kahit maliit lang minsan may nagawa ka na pagkakamali na hindi maganda na maliit lang, it links you to more evil, and then it will continue to grow and grow and grow, that later on it will very difficult to defeat and eliminate from ourselves anymore. Kasi nga, in the goodness side, always lacking of motivation. That's why always we need to find motivation to do good things, to eliminate the evilness in us. Really, this is the reality of fallen human being. Kaya nga, how to really change this world? How to really change, our nation? It will always begin in us as individuals, in our families. And then, we need to have continuous practice. We need to do even small, things continuously, constantly. Otherwise, pag nagkaroon na naman ng gap, evilness will come again, and then you start to do again something, it will continue to grow again, and it will be very difficult again for us. That's why Father said, considering this kind of situation that we have, people who have a mind to pursue a life of truth and goodness find themselves isolated and beset with sorrows. Kaya ngayong iba, they just, I will give up. I will not continue this kind of life. Very difficult, right? So they just, live with the flow of people's, how people normally live their life. That's why if people, even good people cannot pursue, cannot continue, and then they just give up, then there is no hope, right? That's why people who, know the principle, tayo po, we know the principle, we really need to continue, and then one day, we can, set a culture where people can see that, when goodness will expand, more people are, practicing goodness. Naturally, we can influence all people in our nation and all people of the world. Although it's really not easy, we know very clearly. Father is telling us, it's really not easy. That's why we need to always find motivation to do and continue no matter what, whatever difficulties and challenges we encounter, right? We are very grateful because true parents, our true mother, still guiding us continuously on earth. Physically, we have our true mother. We are very lucky people. So knowing this reality, we have to invest more, and we really have to move forward no matter what. Father said, goodness is determined by our life. Good and evil are not decided in the future, but in the present moment, every day. Whether you are good or evil is not determined by your thoughts. It is determined by your life. Just knowing in your head what is good does not put you in any relationship with the real world. Yeah, that's why sometimes everything begins in our mind. Diyan po yan pumapasok, even evilness. Nagsisimula po yan sa mind natin. But if we start to control it sa mind po natin, sabi ni Father, whether you are good or evil is not determined by your thoughts. Of course, it's important. Diyan po yan nagsisimula. Kung ano yung nasa mind mo, yan din yung magagawa mo. Kaya nga, Jesus said, sinabi rin ni Jesus, di ba? Na even when pag nag-umpisa kang mag-isip, you are already committing sin. And this is true because once you always put something in your mind, it will be materialized in your action. Mangyayari po yun. That's why what is in our mind is important. That's why we shouldn't put trash in our mind. Diba? Whatever we put there, then yun din po yung ginagawa natin. So, of course, kung ano yung nasa mind natin, if we were able to control these things and then we cannot materialize it, then what determines ang buhay natin, sabi ni Father, is based on how we live our life, sa action natin. So just knowing in your head what is good does not put you in any relationship with the real world. So even though we are thinking of goodness, I want to do this, yun naman po, I want to do these good things, I want to sacrifice, I want to live for others. But reality, what really determines your life? It is your action. Kaya kahit gusto nating maging mabuti, makatulong sa kapwa, pero sa ginagawa natin, iba naman. So, it doesn't, count much. It doesn't actually, like walang value, walang meaning if only these things are in the mind. So we have to really put it in our life. We have to put it, substantially, we need to do it. So our everyday life, sabi ni Father, ito yung nagdi-decide ng whether we are living in goodness or evilness. Not in the future, but our everyday life, sabi ni Father. So this is really, really important. So Father said, mastery requires training. So Father said, you cannot just pick up a difficult textbook and study it unless you first know how to read. You need to practice reading and train over a long period to become a good reader. You cannot be a connoisseur of music just by listening to a few pieces. You need to train over many years to understand that music deeply and in every aspect. You cannot just stand at a podium and instantly be a great speaker. It requires training. It is the same with our thinking, attitude, and behavior. We have to spend time training our minds and bodies. We can view meditation and prayer as ways of training the mind. Kaya nga po, to become a master, sabi nga natin, of something, it requires training. Continuous training. Matindi pong training ang kailangan natin pagdaanan. Si Manny Pacquiao, bago po siya naging world champion, di po ba pag may laban si Manny Pacquiao, I think minimum 6 months po yata yung training niya. So, we can see, sabi ni Father dito, even if you want to become a good speaker, hindi naman po yan immediately. It requires training continuously. Yung mga second gen po natin na magagaling sa music. I heard si Phil Cobb, sabi, kasi nag-join siya ng YLT. That time I was the director of YLT. He's really amazing. Of course, many of our second generation, marinig niya lang yung music, alam niya na kung paano niya i-play. So, I learned sa kanya na really, yun talaga yung kanya, his entire life, he like offered doon, bata pa lang siya, nag-practice na talaga siya. Kaya he is really master. Marinig niya lang yung music, kahit first time niya, alam niya na agad paano i-play sa guitar. So, really, it requires continuous practice and training. Ganon din po, if for us to really become a good person, how to change yung mind natin, yung attitude natin, yung behavior po natin. It's not only for few years, it's not only for a certain period of time, but it really requires actually whole life of training. That's the way we can master. So it's really important po talaga. Continuously, we need to practice in our life. Hindi lang po nung parang tayo, nung full-time tayo, hindi lang po yun ganon. May family ka na, may mga anak ka na, may mga apo ka na, it still continues until one day you can be able to really master. Di po ba? So it is the same, sabi ni Father, with our thinking, attitude, and behavior. We have to spend time training our minds and bodies. We can view meditation and prayer as ways of training the mind. We need to continue to pray. We need to continue to meditate. Di po ba? And then until such time that already we can control completely our physical body. And then our mind, our original mind, directly connected to Heavenly Parent. And then we practice goodness in our everyday life. We become good person. Aju? So, continuation. So, Father said, well-known violinists know the character of their own violin, having played it countless times, cleaning and caring for it for so long. They know how to make the best sound out of their instrument and can play in total harmony with it. Therefore, they make the most beautiful and even mysterious sounds. Just as a violinist makes special efforts to care for his instrument, you should make special efforts through prayer to cultivate your spirit. Wherever you go, you should raise your spiritual antenna and not be negligent even for a moment. Kaya very important, di ba? Mahirap pong mawalan ng signal. Ayaw natin po na nawawalan ng signal. Ayaw nating pumunta sa lugar na walang signal. Gusto natin palaging may signal. Ganon din po ka-importante our spiritual signal. Our spiritual antenna. We need to always be connected. That's why, sabi ni Father, we need to make special efforts through prayer to cultivate our spirit. Dapat lagi po tayong aware. Kasi nga si Satan is everywhere. Kahit nasaan ka, wala naman pong safe place. Kahit nasa prayer room ka, wala pong safe place. That's why important is we are always aware. Laging yung spiritual kan po natin, antenna natin laging aware so that we can see if danger is coming, we can feel. Di po ba? This is really important. So Father said, we have to cultivate our conscience. How can we, who are fallen beings, return to the God of goodness? First, we have to cultivate our conscience. Thus, we begin to take after the goodness of our original self. Next, we have to act according to God's word. Thus, we reflect the goodness of God and the value of His word. After we have done these things, we will become people who realize goodness and appreciate the value of God's goodness. God can then rejoice finding in us His ideal of goodness, for which He created all things and humankind. So this is important. Father said we have to cultivate our conscience. So meaning when we cultivate, it's continuous. So sabi ni Father, first, we have to cultivate our conscience. So thus, we begin to take after the goodness of our original self. Then next, we have to act according to God's word. Thus, we reflect the goodness of God and the value of His word. Kaya nga po, these days, because we are really living in last days, many things that confuse us. Marami pong bagay. Kaya nga pag ang conscience po natin, we really didn't really cultivate our conscience. We cannot listen from, the voice of Heavenly Parent through our conscience. We will always be dissuaded. And, kaya nga po ngayon, ang daming nangyayari, even from our members, many confusions. That's why, if we couldn't cultivate po yung conscience natin, it's very easy for us to be swayed and really change our concept, and then we follow, wrong things. Kaya napakahalaga po talaga, this is really the time. Kaya nga po, sabi ni True Mother, we need to go back to the early days of our church, where the spirit is really very high, that no one can deceive you. Ganun pong klase ng spirit, we need to really raise up our spiritual level para hindi po tayo ma-dissuade. Now, many things are coming. Kahit tayo mismo, hindi natin alam kung anong tama. Hindi natin alam because we lose the track. Kaya nga po, now we have many brothers and sisters. And then of course, importante po talaga is our alignment. Napakahalaga po talaga nun. Very important, our alignment. We can see, halimbawa po yung isang sasakyan. Minsan yung isang sasakyan, hindi siya aligned. Anong kailangan natin gawin? Ipa-align natin. Otherwise, if it will continue, it might be broken, it might be destroyed. Di ba? Kapag may problem tayo ng alignment sa body natin, sa spinal cord natin, it brings so much discomfort and really, so much pain. Kaya nga po, kapag tayo rin may problema rin tayo sa alignment, many things comes to us. And then tayo ma-confuse tayo, ganito, ganyan. Kaya nga po, number one din talaga ngayon, our alignment. Kaya nga si True Mother, lagi niyang kinaklarify. Kinaklarify ni True Mother is really the center ngayon. So, ang pinaka-importante ngayon sa buhay natin is to attend our True Mother, to be aligned directly to our beloved True Mother. Kahit gaano pa tayo kagaling, kahit anong meron po tayo ngayon, if we are not aligned to our beloved True Mother, no meaning, no value. That's why ngayon po, yun pong pinaka-importante ngayon. Kaya tayo rin po, we need to follow this alignment. No, I can see many of our brothers and sisters, they are confused of nandito sila sa area na to, may leader sila doon, they need to connect sa leader nila doon, hindi kung saan-saan sila pumupunta, they are confused. And then later on also, very dangerous for their children, for young brothers and sisters. Kaya nga po, very important, we need to connect po. Unang-una, yan po ang pinakauna sa lahat eh. That's why True Parents is the center, True Mother is the center. Pag may iba kang center, big problem. Di po ba? And then through that center, we need to pass through that clear line. And then, yun nga po, that's why without listening, kapag clear po ang conscience natin, marinig natin yan, alam po natin yan eh, maalalaman natin yan agad. mali na pala ito. I need to go to the proper line. Kaya nga without cultivating our conscience. So once we cultivate ang conscience natin, we always can listen from God's words, God's voice. And then we will always be corrected. Alam natin, we will be corrected. We will be on the right path, and then we will do right things in accordance to God's desire. Kaya nga po, after we cultivate our conscience, sabi ni Father, next, you need to act according to God's words. Kaya nga po tayo naguhunduki ngayon. So we can understand more clearly what we will do. Maintindihan natin, this is wrong, so I shouldn't do this. I need to follow this absolutely. That's why these two things, we need to cultivate our conscience. And then we will always go to the proper way. Hindi po tayo makukonfuse. Hindi po tayo mawawala. Alam natin kung sino ba yung direct na kailangan tayo connected. Di po ba? Very important po yun. Hindi kung saan-saan tayo pumupunta, kung sino-sino. Kailangan kong pumunta dito. Na-confuse na po. How to build the ideal world. If this basic principle we do not know. Kaya nga po yung laging in-emphasize ni Dr. Kito, yung emphasis ng mind and body, everything begins from there. And then we cultivate our conscience, then we will not be deceived. Ngayon po, many things, kala mo ito ang tama. Maraming nagsasabi sa'yo, kasi kung sino-sino pinapakinggan natin, we thought this is the right thing to do. And then ito rin yung sa paningin mo na tama. Di po ba? But you need to go to the proper person. And then you will go, and then you listen from your conscience. Minsan sabi, ito ang alam kong tama. If you are not also in this line, Satan, is coming everywhere. And then speak to you. Nakala mo yan yung tama. Kaya nga po, we cannot just consider din yung ating own point of view. It's important. More important po yun ngayong time na to, ngayong era na to. That's why our own point of view, it will, make you wrong. We need to always prioritize God's point of view. God's point of view through our true parents, and then through the people, following true parents. Yan po, I can see ngayon many of our brothers and sisters. I really feel sorry how to help brothers and sisters. Kaya tayo po, mga blessed families, mga Chonbu families, our leaders sa lahat ng regions, lahat ng areas, please really, we need to reach out our brothers and sisters and guide them well. Otherwise, they will lose this most important time and most important opportunity that Heavenly Parents and true parents are giving us. We need to guide them properly. We need to guide them properly. Otherwise, just regret later on. So it's really important po. Sabi ni Father ngayon, Father is really reminding us. So after we have done these things, Father said, we will become people who realize goodness and appreciate the value of God's goodness. God can then rejoice finding in us His ideal of goodness, for which He created all things and humankind. So Father said, give and take action is necessary for our growth. The Spirit grows through give and take action between two types of nourishment, life elements of a yang type that come from God, and vitality elements of a yin type that come from the physical self. The Spirit self also returns an element to the physical self, which we call the living spirit element. Truth illuminates the innermost desires of the spirit mind. A person must first comprehend his spirit mind's deepest desire through the truth, and then put this knowledge into action to fulfill his responsibility. So how are we going to grow? This is really important, yung give and take. That's why lahat po tayo actually we receive life elements from Heavenly Parent. And then vitality elements of a yin type that come from the physical self. That's why when we receive life elements, we receive from Heavenly Parent, and then also our physical body needs to do something. We need to materialize living for others. We really need to work. We need to sacrifice. And then our physical body will gain something and give nourishment to our spirit self. And then also, kapag ang healthy na natin spirit self, we receive also from our spirit self. We become also physically healthy. So it's very important po, this give and take should continue in ourselves. Kaya nga, we cannot just, it's not enough also to do hunduke, to listen from God's words. Hindi rin po yun enough. It should be your first step, and then second one, you need to practice. You need to substantialize. You really need to live for others. So Father said, only then do the living spirit elements and vitality elements reciprocate within him, enabling him to progress toward goodness. So the living spirit element and the vitality element have the relationship of internal nature, and external form. Because all people have living spirit elements ever active within themselves. Even an evil person's original mind inclines towards goodness. However, unless he actually leads a life of goodness, the living spirit elements cannot engage in proper give and take with the vitality elements, nor can they be infused into his physical self to make it wholesome. Kaya nga lahat daw po tayo, sabi ni Father, we have this living elements within us coming from God. Even an evil person, sabi ni Father dito, all people have living spirit elements ever active within themselves. Even an evil person's original mind inclines towards goodness. Kaya lahat po tayo, we all receive this from Heavenly Parent. But unless, Father said, He actually leads a life of goodness. That's why yung practice po talaga, we can see through our practice, through how we live our lives every day. Then the living spirit elements cannot engage in proper give and take with the vitality elements, nor can they be infused into his physical self to make it wholesome. So unless we put our effort, unless we practice goodness, unless we sacrifice and really live for others substantially, then there will be no give and take. Kaya nga po, for this to be activated, we have to really practice and live for the sake of others. Kaya yun po yung kailangan natin gawin. And then, naturally, we will grow. We will develop our spirit self. We will become mature, right? And then one day we can reach the divine level, divine spirit level. So, very important talaga yung give and take. That's why first we do hondoke, we learn God's words, and then we practice in our life. We love other people. We care for other people. We love our brothers and sisters. And then we really sacrifice for others. This is really important. And then through this way, we will really grow and develop. So Father said, attain unity within yourself. You can attain heaven only if you have unity within yourself. Therefore, do not be arrogant. Be humble. Be a sacrifice. That is why we are taught to discipline the body through the path of religion. Although you dislike it, you should do fasting and make sacrifices for more than 3 years. Kaya nga po, it's really important din mga conditions pa na ito. Sabi ni Father, this was given in 1993. Sabi ni Father that time, at least for 3 years, especially for us, mga first generation then. It's really not easy. Lalo na if you meet our movement, 20 years ka na, 30 years ka na, 40 years ka na, and then you did full-time, really needs a lot of condition then. But of course now, a lot of foundation already has been laid. I mean, kahit na short period, if you really focus well, no, we don't need to follow na yung pinagdaanan pa ng mga elders natin before. They need to go through 7-year course. Right? So ngayon, at just certain period, at least minimum 7 months or 1 year, you practice, and then you offer serious conditions, and then later that will become your habit, and then completely your life will be changed. Kaya nga, Father said, to attain heaven, we need to have unity within ourselves, unang-una, before we call for unity in our community, in our nation, in the world. It all begins in us. Unity between mind and body. That's why we need to be always humble, sabi ni Father. Because arrogant, this is really the nature of Satan. And then, be a sacrifice, continue to sacrifice. So this is really, really important. So Father said, make continuous effort to pursue God's will. So this is, really important. Father's guidance. So today, Father said, people who only go to church on Sunday without making any effort to pursue God's will are very dull. They are too numb to know the difference between good and evil. Even if others admonish them, they are used to taking each day for granted, just repeating daily routine. Such people do not make spiritual progress. So sabi ni Father, yung mga tao raw na pumupunta lang sa church on Sunday without making any effort to pursue God's will are very dull. Then these people do not make spiritual progress. They remain in the same place. After wasting their lives like this for 10 years or more, the day comes when they look back on their past with shame and regret, realizing my position is so far below what it could have been. Kaya nga po tayo, we cannot just live yung life po natin attending Sunday service, or ganun po, punta lang po tayo sa church during Sunday, or minsan nag-attend tayo ng morning devotion. And ito po, this is not the life we're supposed to live. Sabi ni Father, ang buhay natin kapag ganito lang, we will never make spiritual progress. We will remain in the same place. Even after 10 years na po tayo, 15 years na tayo, 20 years na tayo, 30 years na tayo, 40 years na tayo na member ng Unification Church, when we look back, sabi ni Father, ano raw ang, we will just, look at the past with shame and regret, realizing my position is so far below my position is so far below what it could have been. So that's why if we will not participate, if we will not join in this, work that we are doing now, and then nag-a-attend lang tayo, anyway, inisip lang natin, anyway, I'm blessed, I will attend Sunday service. Kapag ako po isipin ko lang ganito, I will just attend Sunday service, I will do hunduke. Anyway, blessed naman na ako, chonbukopol na ako, I can go to Kingdom of Heaven. Already, pupunta na ako sa Kingdom of Heaven, already I'm citizen of Channel Group. So we will not really progress, sabi ni Father. We will not going to have spiritual progress. Later, we will just regret. Kaya nga po, most important po ngayon is really we need to participate in whatever ways we can. In whatever ways we can. We pray for everybody and then we do something. Kung ano, we donate something, we help something, ganito po. Whatever, many ways we can support, we can contribute. Most important, we are participating. Yun po ang pinaka-importante ngayon. We are participating. Not enough that we are blessed. We are chonbuk couples. And then we just attend Sunday service. We just, do these things. Most important po, we need to participate in many ways. In the providence. We are like one whole body. Di po ba? Kaya dapat po lahat ng part ng body mag-work yan, mag-move. Do something. So that the body will be healthy. Ganon din po yung nation natin ngayon, the whole world, the whole providence centering on true parents or true mother. Everybody has a role to play. Very important po yun. Everybody needs to do it. Otherwise, there will be problem. That's why we need to participate and do something and work. Do not just be play safe. Hindi lang po dapat tayo play safe. Okay na ako, blessed na ako. It's not the time. It's now the time. Heavenly Parents and True Parents is calling us to do more. Even though we know we already sacrificed. You already sacrificed so much. Many of our elders and brothers and sisters, we cannot imagine the sacrifice that you have made already. For how many years? But this time, True Mother is calling us to sacrifice more. True Mother is telling us to do more, to invest more. This is now the time. We are now nearing to the completion. And then we know clearly that when we are about to reach the completion period, this area we're about to surpass, this is the most difficult and most challenging ones. That's why we cannot expect easy life ngayon po. We cannot expect that, this 2021, 2022, matapos ang coronavirus, mas magiging easy po yung life natin. Actually, as we move forward to the final destination, there will be more challenges. There will be more challenges that we will be facing. Kaya ang pinaka-importante po ngayon, our unity. We need to unite together completely. And then with all our determination, we will surely overcome with our beloved True Mother together. Aju, that's why this is really very important for us to know and understand. We need to participate and invest more during this time. This is the only way that really we can fulfill the desire of our beloved True Mother. How much True Mother wanted to comfort our Heavenly Parent, our True Father, who passed on to the spiritual world with a dream na sabi niya, even just to live in a Chunilguk nation just for one day. We couldn't accomplish that. Di ba kaya nga po ngayon si True Mother is investing everything. Our beloved True Mother now is giving everything for this dream to be realized. That in True Mother's lifetime, ma-fulfill na po ito. That's why with all of us who are really historical people, tayo po ngayon, tayo yung katuwang ni True Mother. If we rely on True Mother, si True Mother yung hope natin, ganun din po si True Mother. We, the Blessed Central families, the Chonbo families, our brothers and sisters who are now working so hard in the front line, tayo rin po yung pag-asa ni True Parents. Tayo rin po yung pag-asa ni True Mother. That's why this is now the time, the best time to invest everything that we can. Parang sabi nga ni Father, we need to live our life like this is our last. We need to have this kind of concept. We need to have this kind of mindset. Living our life that this is already the last time we have to give everything. Aju, aju. That's why we are being called by heaven, our Heavenly Parent and True Parents. That's why with our unity together, that's why ngayon po actually in the Philippines we have many brothers and sisters. Kaya nga po this time we have to really be concerned and really reach out sila, mga brothers and sisters, and really guide them well so that they will not miss this golden age and golden opportunity that was given to us. Aju, that's why through living this kind of life, we will really develop ourselves. We will really become a person of goodness, that really become a model, and then we can build good families, and then naturally it will expand, and we can build Chunil Book Nation. Aju, Aju. So this is Heavenly Parents and True Parents' dream and desire for all of us. So thank you very much for all your investment, to all our brothers and sisters. Let's really, really complete the providence in this time until 2027. Everything is in our hands. We have our Heavenly Parent and True Parents with us, the entire spiritual world, our ancestors. Billions of absolute good spirits are really working. They're more excited than us, actually. So if we move, then everything will going to, solve, and really we can bring completion, and really miracles will really happen beyond our imagination. So once again, thank you so much for all your hard work and investment and love for Heavenly Parents and True Parents. Have a wonderful Sunday with your families, and have a wonderful week. May Heavenly Parents' love and blessings be always upon you and your families. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Sir LA, for that wonderful message this morning. Let us give a hand to our Heavenly Parent and True Parents, and to our beloved national leader, Reverend Leo Angelo Halo. Thank you so much, sir, for that reminder once again. We really need to cultivate our heart every day. Yes. Now, let us proceed to our reflection sharing. Allow me to call from our elders. Let us hear from our Tito Willie Hagopaas from Thailand. Morning po.
Good morning. Marinig ba?
Banat
Yes
dong.
po. Yes po.
Maayong buntag. Magandang umaga sa lahat. Ohayo gozaimasu. I really, I have a lot of notes here with NL's speech today, inspiration. So the first is mastery needs training. That's really very true, and that's why when we tried in our family too, we practice our children to really follow God's will, and especially because of we need how to say, our second gen, we need continuity. We need to, our second gen should really follow what we have done. Because NL Leo said that if we also, how to say, we have to make continuous effort to pursue God's will, because sometimes we feel we made a lot of things, so we need to stop. Uh, we need to no need for us to do God's will anymore. But in our experience, that's why NL Reverend Leo said that if we move, then miracles will happen. That's very true. But for us, we have nothing, but we tried. Okay, we tried. We tried so much. Even financially, we are not stable. But when we start to proclaim that we must do a heavenly tribal Messiah, actually we started our mission as heavenly tribal Messiah. We brought my family to the Philippines and joined the mobilization in for Araneta blessing, Araneta Coliseum blessing, and our children really very inspired. Really, they have the enthusiasm to do. also their part, and also during the 15 cities tour. So, and we really, my family really tried our best to fulfill our responsibility. That's why many miracles happen to us, right? When we, just like I want to share, when we really proclaim our HTM, then when we go back from Korea, when we go back home here, actually I resigned from my job to do HTM, and then after that, when we got back from the Korea from here, from Korea, then uh, miracles happened. We received financial support from the family of my wife, hundreds, thousands of baht. So, and also families, really, my family also intact, and they really follow God's will. They want to follow the parents' example. So that's why the best way for us to grow is to live for others. That's what our national leader told us. That's why also I also inspired with our one of our with Hajime. He said the most I asked we asked him, what is your secret? Why you have, why you succeed? He said, because of just go, 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 no stopping. And then what also, that's what also true mother had told us, that no stopping, because of our contribution is very important. If all of us will become Chonbo couple, then God will be very, very happy, and three parents are very happy, and we could meaning Chonilguk is very possible. That's why for us, we, even though my wife also has a problem with her physical body, but she never stopped. And we have our pioneer mission in the southern part. It's a Muslim area, but it's very we really amazed, because of we can witness those Muslim leaders there, and our some of our leaders doesn't like to go there because it's a red zone, just like Hulusulu, yeah. But for us, because of we lived there before, that's why we can we have no chance to be afraid of. A lot of miracles, happen to our family. So that's why for others too, if we just do it, that's why Inel told us that alignment is very important. Sometimes we have many complaints, why we contribute, why we donate a lot. So, but if we just follow and follow, absolutely, then miracles, really, a lot of miracles will happen. Thank you very much. Sawadee krap.
감사합니다, Tito Willie, for sharing. Let us give a
Nasyak,
hand to our Tito
nasyak ako ah.
Willie. Thank you po. Yeah, joining our morning devotion with his family in Thailand. Let us give a hand to our Tito Willie and his family po. Yes. Now let us welcome to share also his reflection, our Tito Isaiah Florentino from Philjap. Welcome po. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Wow. I expect I will give the 10 points of appreciation. Anyway, I'm very grateful that I was given this chance to say the reflection. Actually, I would like to really thanks our heavenly parents and true parents for all the blessings that we receive. And especially this time that we are living in this pandemic. And because of this pandemic, the new normal changed our ways of life. And this lifestyle is like leading us towards living to the spiritual, right? And it is breaking. Kuya Wensi is calling. And because of this coronavirus, the world become like one computer. I can see you all in in my computer or in my iPhone. I can see all of you if I will just open it. So it's really become like spiritual, no? Breaking the distance, breaking the time. And so this is a great opportunity for us to really witness. We can reach now all the people that we cannot meet before. Through the technology, we can find them and we can connect them. And we can let them know about our true parents. So if they don't accept, maybe they will respond. If they accept, they will respond, right? And then if they respond, that's your chance. You can witness to them. So that's why the rally of hope that was given by our true mother is really, this is what this morning devotion told us, that if we just receive inspiration but we never practice it, there will no change at all. That's why this pandemic, this coronavirus, bring great blessing to the whole world. So now True Mother has the chance to really embrace or bless all people throughout the world. And we are the hands and foot of our True Mother. So whenever there is a chance to have this rally of hope, it's our chance. Although wherever we are, we can do the witnessing. There is no limit of the distance. No, there is no more excuse. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and let us continue to cultivate the goodness in our hearts. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tito Isaias, for sharing. Let's give it to our Tito Isaias. You have a great background po. Ang cute. Your children. Yes.
Thank you,
Now,
National Leader.
po. Yes. Now let us hear one more reflection from Tita May Sato. Tita May Sato from also Japan. Yay. Good morning, Tita May. Tita.
Unexpected. Can hear?
Okay po.
Yeah. With the message from our national leader is really true, that if we just silent, we receive the message and we will not share it. It's like garbage, collecting garbage and keep it in the garbage can, and if you will not throw it away, it will make you just like you will become smelly. So it's like the word, if it will just rest in us and we will not share it, then it will make our life, dry. That's why when we hear the words of inspiration immediately, we can share it, even though we are just like Kuya Florentino said, here in Japan, through this, technology, God has given us opportunity to really share. In one click, we can already share to those people whom we wanted to witness at this time. So yeah, the pandemic also give us a good, a blessing in disguise. That although it restrict us from a distance, but actually it give us a chance to reach out those unreachable. So thank you very much for the message, especially from national leader who continue to, it's not easy to, prepare a message every day, but because of his inspiration, determination to give, spiritual food for all of us every morning, we are truly grateful. Thank you very much for everything. That's
Yes,
all.
I thank you so much, Tita May, for sharing. Let us give our Tita May. Yay. We miss you, Tita May, here in
Yeah, me
HQ.
too.
Yes po. Yeah. Now, as we are going also to prepare for our Sunday service, we will now proceed to our final guidance to be given by, once again, our national leader. Let us welcome our national leader.
Thank you very much, our sister Yab. Thank you very much po, Ate May. We miss you in the Philippines, Ate. Thank you very much po kay Kuya Isaias, Japan, and also kay Kuya Willie. And yeah, I know very well their family, their children also very active. Thank you so much po for really setting a model then, really working very hard. Thank you so much to all our bus families who are here today. Maraming salamat po. This time we are preparing for the celebration of True Parents birthday and 8th anniversary of Foundation Day. This coming February 24 po, we are going to have live viewing together with True Mother. We're going to celebrate po together. And then February 28 will be the 5th Rally of Hope. So we can start to invite na po ulit mga invite natin for the Rally of Hope this coming February 28. So really, True Mother is continuously, without rest talaga si True Mother is really investing continuously. So True Mother is really aiming for the Heavenly Unified Korea by 2022. With our small effort po, our sincerity and dedication, we are actually contributing, and then we are giving also strength to our beloved True Mother. If whenever we are sacrificing and really doing our mission, thinking about True Parents, we are really giving something to our beloved True Mother. Kaya bawat isa po sa atin, True Mother's health then is nakapan din po sa atin. If we are really investing everything and really sacrificing, doing our mission very well, it gives so much joy and happiness to True Mother. True Mother regains strength. Kaya nga po our past Rally of Hope, True Mother was really so happy. Kaya naging part po yung Rally of Hope natin sa True Parents birthday celebration talaga. Kaya this event of all of in the Philippines that all brothers and sisters really contributed, this effort that we have could really give so much joy to our beloved True Mother. Kaya ito rin talaga yung happiness natin more than whatever we are doing. But if really it makes True Mother happy, this is really an imaginable happiness also that we can have. Kaya nga po, if we really want to be happy, let's do our best and make True Mother happy. Then we will going to experience also so much joy and happiness. Di po ba? That's why the more you give, actually, the more you really receive. This is really the principle that we cannot deny. But if you will not give, you will not sacrifice, you will not receive anything. Kaya ngayon, because of that news that True Mother was so happy with our event, we want to do more, we want to sacrifice more, we want to contribute more. Di po ba? That's why True Mother now is giving us all the opportunity. So we shouldn't miss this chance. So yun po, thank you very much. And then this, we're going to have our Sunday service po today. Our Vice President, Sister Julius, Dr. Julius Malikdam will be giving the message today. and then he will be sharing very important points today. So let's really meet again this coming 10 o'clock for our Sunday service. So once again, thank you very much po. Please be healthy always. Please enjoy with your family, especially this Sunday. Please spend time din po with your families. Maraming salamat po. God bless you. Thank you po.
Thank you so much. Let's give a hand to our beloved national leader. Thank you so much. And to all our elders who shared this morning. Now for our closing prayer, may I request Tita May Sato.
Let us pray. Other most beloved parents and our victorious true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, we are truly and deeply grateful, Father, for such a wonderful message, Heavenly Father, you have given to us through our national leader, Heavenly Father, Reverend Halog, Father in the Philippines, who continuously give his utmost effort and sincerity to give us the spiritual food that we need, Heavenly Father, so that we can really survive and be able to fight, Heavenly Father, against this pandemic, which is really stressing our lives, Heavenly Father, because we cannot do what we want, Heavenly Father, although it gives us another chance, Heavenly Father, through technology to reach out those unreachable. But, Heavenly Father, the very thing that we wanted to do, Father, we cannot do it. But somehow, Heavenly Father, it give us a chance, Heavenly Father, to reflect on ourselves, Father, what we can do more, Heavenly Father, for your providence. We pray, Heavenly Father, for the success, Heavenly Father, of the coming fifth rally of hope, Father, of our beloved true mother. And hope we can also invite more, Father, this time. And also eternally we can prepare, Father, for the coming celebration of True Parents Day and also 8th Foundation Day, many parents. Truly, from the bottom of our hearts, I would like to humbly offer to you everything. All these things I pray and report in our names. You serve us out of this central family. Adieu.
Drew, let us offer our individual prayer.
Truly, from the bottom of our hearts, I'd like to
Drew. Let us offer our gratitude to our Heavenly Parent, True Parents. 감사합니다, Heavenly Parent, True Parents. To our beloved national leader, thank you so much. To our NBCC National Blessed Children Committee, Tita May Sato, Tito Willie, and Tito Isaias, Brother Benji. Thank you so much for this morning, and to all our elders, leaders, brothers and sisters, thank you so much for joining our morning devotion. Thank you. See you.
Akala ko, mag-compare lang ako ba? Spectator lang dahil.
See you later.
Yes, see you.